Hi, I'm Patrick. In this video I'm going to show you how to validate your code. Validating code was really important in the 2000s. It was something that really kind of was trendy. Nowadays you'll find that it's not as important, or maybe developers place less emphasis, but we find that when you're learning how to write HTML, CSS, it's still important to check your code, see if it validates, and when it doesn't, it gives you a nice teachable moment to learn how to fix your code. So with that, I'm going to use the plain 502 and the 502 project as examples. So I have them here in Dreamweaver, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to edtech2 and pull them both up. So I go to edtech2.boisestate/Patrick Lowenthal, that's my account. And then I look for the folder and then the file. So I have that. And this. Okay. So now to validate your code, you just go to Google and you can Google validate HTML5. You'll find that there's the classic one that's been around for years is this HTML, this W3C markup validation service. It basically, when you use this, it goes to this same one. So either one of these are fine. And so if I take this and I copy it in here, I'm going to do the same thing here just to show you. Okay, so notice how fast that one is. This one's a bit slower. You can see both of them show that there's no errors. They both give a warning, but warnings are okay. Really not that big of a deal. They used to, with the HTML validator, give you some code that you could copy and paste to put a badge on your website. As the importance of validating your codes become less important, you can see that they no longer include that here. I'm going to show you how to validate your CSS next, and you'll see that they still include that there. But it's still nice to add those badges to let the world know that your code is valid. So in the absence of them giving them to you, if you just go to Google and you Google HTML5 validation badges, you'll find Ventures.org has these. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to right click and save the HTML and the CSS, and I'm saving them in my images folder in my edtech2. So I'm doing both the HTML5 and the CSS3, and I'm doing both the blue and the orange just so I have them. So now that I know my code is valid, I can go down here. I'm going to put my cursor in the footer. I'm going to go to Insert Image, and I'm going to use HTML5 blue. Now I'm going to make sure I add some alt text down here. I'm going to put my cursor back here in front of the copyright and just add a space. So just like that, I'm going to save this and I'm going to re-upload it and recheck it. I'm going to come back, I'm going to refresh. I can see it showed up. That looks good. Now, right now, I can copy and paste that and put it back in here. And you can see it's already there, so I can just hit validate. And it shows me, once again, no errors. So now I can take the added step to really mirror what we're going to do with the CSS, and I'm going to make it where this link is clickable and it can recheck my page. This just becomes helpful, especially as you make additional changes to your page, just to recheck it to see if there's errors. So if you actually go to Google and you Google HTML5 validation refer, I already have it up here, you can go through these and you'll eventually find it, but it's actually the code I'm looking for right here. So I'm just going to copy and paste that without the quotation marks. And what I can do is when I add this, I'm going to click on this image down here in the properties. I'm going to copy and paste that. And then I'm going to click back on this because I really want to make sure this target goes to blank. That's going to make it open in a new window. External sites should links to external sites should always open in a new window. Okay, I re-uploaded it. I'm going to refresh. Opens a new window when I click on it, and it rechecks it. So that's exactly what I'm looking for it to do. And so it's a really helpful way to do this. So now that it looks great, we're going to repeat these same steps with the 502 page, and then I'm going to show you how to check the CSS. A lot of fun, I know. All right, so I can take the URL for this, and I can start over by clicking the header there. Okay, so it shows me that it all looks good for my HTML. That looks great. I'm going to open a new tab. I'm going to Google Css3 Validate. Can't spell, but that's okay. So the first one comes up. I'm going to click on that. Okay, so it took a minute, but here it says no errors are found. Now I could copy and paste this, but these old badges are a different size than the newer ones, so I'm not going to do that right now. Open my 502 page, and I know that the HTML and the CSS are valid, so I'm going to first put my HTML badge in, add the alt text, click away. I'm going to do a space. I'm going to insert my CSS. I'm going to change it up here and just use two different colors. There's no rule that says you can't. Add my alt text. Now I could go ahead and check these again, but in this case I'm just going to jump to adding the links to these. Now it's not required that you do this. I think the fact that the Html5 validator no longer has these up here kind of suggests that it's no longer needed, but it's something that I still think is really helpful when you're learning. So I'm going to copy the refer to the HTML5. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to add it here. I'm going to click away. I'm going to click back on it. Go to blank. I'm going to copy this. Click on that. Okay, so I just saved, re-uploaded. Now I can check them. They both open a new window. You can see my CSS looks good. My HTML, it's still thinking about it. And that looks good. This was a quick video to show you how to make sure that your HTML and your CSS is valid code, how to then add validation badges, and if you choose to, how to add some links to them so they will, at any time, you or anyone else can click on it and double check your code. Thanks.